Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Today, we're diving into a very serious conversation that affects all of us: our health and the beauty industry's impact on Black women. New research shows that many beauty products marketed to Black women contain hazardous chemicals that increase the risk of diseases like breast and uterine cancer. While some progress has been made since 2016, we still have fewer and safer options compared to the other markets. From hair relaxers to makeup and skincare, the products we use every day might be putting us at risk. So today we're asking the tough questions. Why do these disparities still exist? Why are Black women still exposed to more hazardous ingredients? And most importantly, what can we do about it? And today I have an amazing panel to break it all down. As being women, we are definitely experts because we are always into skincare, how we look. We want to present ourselves at the best. But here's who I have today, my beautiful queens: Moya, tax professional; Marlo Layson, TV film producer; and Tiara Williams, producer and actress. Hi, queens. How are you today?
We are good. Good. Well, I can't speak for all of us. I'm good.
This one's a tough one because we use something. Even if you don't wear makeup, you wear some type of moisturizer, something on your face, even simple Vaseline. We have to make sure that, we're looking at those things in that, because even that has some controversy to it. Is Princess controversy? So my first question to you ladies is this: were you shocked to hear about this when you first heard about this? Because this has been a running story for a while, but I don't think that we're getting any better. So I'm going to start with you, Marlo. Were you shocked to hear how different we are compared to the other markets when it comes to all these chemicals?
No, especially when you think about the number one hair product for Black women for so long was hair relaxers, right? When you think of the art of straightening our hair is so toxic, like even the smell, right? Like you get the right chemical relaxer, and as soon as you open that jar, you're dealing with something that a chemist made. So it is not surprising to me at all.
And how about you, Tiara? I mean, did you, I don't know if you dealt with relaxers, but, if you did, like, how long have you been using something like this?
Girl, I got all the things. I got my first relaxer when I was like 7. I got my first Jerry curl when I was in 3rd grade. Like all the blackest things, right? Because I lived with my grandmother. And so she, there was people coming in the house that was like, let me do Tiara's hair. And before I knew it, they tried and, used me as a human experiment for all of these products. But, to be honest, I didn't know they were as dangerous. When I saw the video, I was like, wow, it just kind of put things into context. But when I look at not to go deep into it, but when I look at like the rates for cancer and the rates for how we are getting sick as Americans, it just really, it hit home for me that they're not considering our well-being in our lives when they're making these products, just like the end result, which is to give us whatever it is that we need.
And that's interesting that you say that too, because I remember, I'll be 55 this week. Growing up, you hardly ever heard of cancer in the Black community. All of my aunts, nothing like that. But as I'm getting older, it seems like I'm hearing something in my family almost every week.
Yeah.
And this was just like unheard of. So Moya, what is your thoughts? Were you shocked to hear this?
So I wasn't shocked necessarily. The one thing that did shock me were like, even because you're thinking, well, I'm going to go natural. But even the braiding hair, they're saying has chemicals in it. And I'm like, oh my God, like what are the options? So yeah, it's super, super unfortunate. Like I just thought growing up, like, oh, this stuff isn't necessarily good for my hair. Like Luster's pink lotion, it felt like it was breaking my hair off. It didn't feel like it was doing what it said it was going to do. So, but to know that it was actually harmful, yeah, that definitely makes a difference.
It's really scary because my birth mother is white and my father is black. And so my hair is a little different than what my family was used to. And so my mother that raised me wasn't quite sure what to do with my hair. So she said, well, I guess we're just going to relax it. I have nothing in my hair now. This was what my hair looked like even as a child, but she didn't know how to handle the curls. So at an early age, she was like, your sisters aren't here, so we're gonna have to just straighten this out because they would tangle. So I too grew up with relaxers most of the time, and it wasn't until I was in my 20s when my brother-in-law's wife, my brother's wife, who was a hairstylist and a white woman at that, looked at me and said, what the hell are you doing? Like, let's get this out of your hair. And ever since then, I never put anything else in it. I have done the Brazilian straight out though, and that's just as dangerous. So it looks like all of us here, we have all dealt with that. We just talked about hair. We didn't even really talk about everything else. But let's check this video out because this is what is getting us started on this topic. But before we let the video roll, I would like to hear our family, our viewership family. What products are you currently using? Were you shocked to hear about this report? Because Double A, we missed you over the weekend. Ellen, we missed you. Black Lexicon, I missed you too, darling. Dwayne and T Breezy and Dr. Vibe, we want to hear it all. And just don't leave out the men. Now listen, men, you love us women, right? So you have a voice in this too. Were you shocked at how much we go through as women to fit the standard beauty? And we're going to dig into that too. But let's check out this video.
You start using cosmetic products, the higher your chance of coming down with breast cancer.
So Black women are at the highest risk of getting breast cancer under the age of 40.
Yes.
Beauty and hair products marketed to Black women often contain the most toxic ingredients.
That is known as environmental injustice. So that's one of the, I would say, the most tragic circumstances that we're facing as a society is that the people who are exposed to the most amount of toxins are low-income people and people in ethnic groups. And so some of these products that are marketed specifically to Black girls contain some of the worst ingredients I have ever seen. The fragrances, the endocrine disruptors, these harsh detergents, some formaldehyde releasers. Formaldehyde is a human carcinogen. What place does it have in a beauty and personal care product? It doesn't. It needs to be removed. There needs to be better regulations and better protection for vulnerable populations.
50% of products advertised to Black women contain endocrine disruptors, which are those disruptors that are going to impact their hormones, increase their chance of things like cancer, infertility, etc., compared to roughly 7% that are advertised to white women.
That's really the problem, is why is it more prevalent for those populations than others? And I think this is an ongoing societal issue of environmental racism.
Are people aware of this?
I think the vast majority of people are entirely unaware of this, and studies show it, because there are studies showing that the earlier you start using cosmetic products, the higher your chance of coming down with breast cancer. And
Keyword, the younger. Remember, I had said my mother didn't know what to do with my hair, so she started putting the relaxer in. I think all of us have experience with relaxers at some point. But Marlo, I want to ask you, because I'm guilty. How often do you check the ingredients in your beauty and personal care products?
Honestly, I check them often, but it's because I, for about 2 years, worked for a company called Hairfinity or Brock Beauty. They created a product called Hairfinity. It's a hair vitamin. They also have eyelash serums and shampoos, conditioners, like weave removal. Like, there's a whole product line. And part of my job as the overproduction was to be able to write blog posts about the products within our products, right? So, when I first got there, she was like, all right, you're going to be taking over productions and blogs. And she plopped the big book of science of the products on my desk. And I had to absorb that. I had to take that in. I had to spend time with the chemist. She had a Black woman who was a chemist doing her research and development. I've shared before when we talked about Tabitha Brown that she would not go into Target because it meant mass production, and mass production means changing your product. And she's an engineer herself by trade. Shout out to Tamika Brock, very, very smart Black woman, quality product. And she just made sure that we were knowledgeable about the product. She was very proud of the product that she had created. And so I had to learn everything, and it made me cognizant. So while I don't know every single product that's bad, I do know the medical prefixes and suffixes that indicate what a product is and what it does. And so I do look for those things, and I do understand the order that the ingredients are is by volume, right? So if water is the first ingredient, you probably got you an almost solid product there, depending on what follows it. But all of those things are important, and people should definitely be checking the label, and as much as possible, not letting price guide your cosmetic purchases.
Well, speaking of price, I mean, my God, have y'all seen how much all the stuff is now? I mean, now curly hair is in fashion, and mixed chicks is like $25. But listen, we are also very blessed, family. We have someone in our viewership. Eunice says, greetings. I am a Black cosmetic chemist here. I wish more platforms like yours would bring us into the conversation to explain the science. So many of the nation is not fully true. Listen, we would absolutely love to have you put anything in these comments that we need to know. And listen, we always welcome people, because this is not a topic that is just for today. This is obviously going to be something that we can continue. And, we would love to have you as well to join us on that. We're going to take a short break and get back to this because this goes pretty deep. We'll be right back.
Woo! This is a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
I absolutely love it. And you do not want to miss an episode. We talk about really important things. We have fun on some episodes. We talk about a hodgepodge of things, but when it comes to important topics like this, you definitely do not want to miss it. It affects everyone. It affects everyone. You may not be a woman, but you have a woman that you love in your life, right? So you don't want to miss what we talk about. So all you have to do is text the word Queens, QUEENS, to 87948 so that you can get your notifications every single day. Now, I want to get back into the conversation because I'm going to throw a cog in the wheel a little bit, and I'm going to throw this one at you, Tiara. We in our community seem to always want to fit into the standard of beauty. And a lot of the times in earlier times, we're seeing more embracement now of our natural beauty. But, a lot of times we were told you don't go into job interviews without your hair straight and things of that nature. So how do you see that contributing to these health issues that we are now seeing? And do you think that's one of the reasons that they're definitely marketing to us?
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. I mean, I've been over here just digesting all the things. Like, I pulled up like instances of environmental racism, which I don't really think it clicks. I mean, when I think of like Hurricane Katrina, because I was part of that as a environmental racism, I see that, like, right, like the levees were below, they're below sea level and all of the things. And so that, of course, affected Black communities more than it did the others. But I never even thought of this as an environmental injustice, right? I didn't think about that. So I just want to say that out loud really quick. But you said, okay, so I'm just going to use me as an example. I decided to shave all of my hair off maybe 12 years ago and go natural. And to be honest, it was liberating and it was all the things, and yes, and it was great. But sometimes when my hair started to get long enough, it was tough because I would have a meeting and my hair wouldn't do the thing it had just done the day before that. Like, okay, the curls, all right, I got to twist out and I'd be looking crazy. Twist out looking crazy, right? And so this 4C doesn't do what Lala's 2C or 1C or whatever it is, what our hair does. And so I went back to getting perms. And so I remember getting a perm and just going, oh, thank God. Right? Because I could manage my hair. It wasn't about me wanting to look like a white person or anything like that, or me just wanting, it's just me wanting something manageable that does something consistent every day. I know I can get up and I can like curl this, but it's going to do the same thing. Some days it's not going to be like matted to my head, and other days it's out and popping. So for me, that's kind of what influenced my decision to go natural or not go natural. Just time. I can't be playing with my hair on a wash day. 5 hours to do my hair, right? And then when you twist it out before work, it's like if it doesn't work, then you got to figure out what to do. I ain't got the time for that. So that was my personal experience with going natural versus not being natural.
Oh man, I remember having to sit underneath that dryer. My God, my mother would, all the curls that she wanted out, she'd want to put back in. So she would, wash my hair every week, and my hair was this long, and she would put it in the curlers, and then I would sit underneath the dryer for 4 hours, and it was just, I mean, the time of wanting it to look a certain way or the struggle. Now I'm a wash and go girl. I wouldn't have it any other way. But I get you, because sometimes, it doesn't want to do what you want to do. Sometimes my curls don't do what I want them to do. And it's hard to deal with that when you want it to do something. So, Moya, so why do you think that hair relaxers remain one of the most hazardous beauty products for Black women? We've been knowing about this for a long time.
Yeah, and I think it's really our desire to blend in, because there definitely is the space, because I've worked in two spaces so I worked in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill. And I remember going in there and talking before I left, I was like, are they going to like my natural hair? Like, and she's having the conversation with me, like, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And it was true. Like, there was no difference at all versus when I worked in Las Vegas at the Bellagio, and I was going to interview for a job in VIP, which means like all the wealthiest of the wealthiest that have come to spend money, they go through VIP. And my manager was Black, and she said, you know what? The first thing you're gonna have to do is take those braids out of your hair. And I was like, I do? She's like, if you want that job, you got to take those braids out. And I said, okay. And because she was Black and I felt like she was giving me the game, I did it. And, sure enough, I did get the job. Whether it was because I had braids or not, I'm not sure. But one thing I do know is there is a desire, especially as Black women, want to go to X place or X level, we have to conform in some way. And I think a relaxer is the quickest way to get us to say, hey, I want to remove that barrier, that potential barrier that could be there.
Yeah. I've had people and especially in entertainment. All right, I know entertainment, they want you to look a certain way. Am I right or wrong, Tierra? I mean, sometimes they want you to look a certain way, and if you want that role, you better go look that certain way. Am I off on that?
No, you're not off on that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
See that? I mean, it's so many things to this. But also that Tierra always says, it always goes back to slavery. It really does. It does, because they wanted us to conform. They made fun of our natural looks. Therefore, we wanted to fit in to show that we could be just as good as them, even though we knew we were, and 4 times better. That goes back to that too. But Eunice said the increase in prices, because earlier we had mentioned how much products were so much higher for us. She said the increase in prices is due to inflation and supply chain. Ingredients have increased because many are produced and imported from other countries, and they're going to get worse, y'all. We all know that. Smaller brands suffer because we can't buy in bulk. In order for small Black brands to survive, they have to charge more. All right, so I'm going to ask you, Marlo, have you noticed your hair care products, your beauty products, have they increased lately?
I gotta say, now that my hair is locked and me and my locks have gotten to a place where I love them and they love me back, I am happily spending far less money on hair care products. My products last much longer just because there's less maintenance. I come from a culture, if you know anything about New Orleans, baby, we get our hair done, okay? Get your hair did. It's part of a lifestyle. And so I spent my life from about 16 to I went natural 10 years ago. So let's say 16 to 36. Spending money, y'all. I can't even get it out. Like, I tried to quickly do the calculations of the regular salon visit. I was at my peak, I was spending about $75 every 2 weeks on a silky press. And the maintenance between the silk press and all of that. Like, so I am free. Happily for me, yes, the products cost more than I remember, but I buy them so infrequently, it really doesn't matter. Now, I fuss at my daughter all the time because, you know, we got to do braids. She want an up-down pony. We got all this other stuff going on, and I let her live her life with her hair. So I do see a little bit through her, but we also try to get dad to pay for those little accentuations. You know what I'm saying? So I avoid it at all times. Because I've spent a lot of money over my life.
Beauty shops and stuff. I mean, that could be very costly.
It is very costly.
Whether you're doing it at home or you're doing it in a salon, it's a lot of money to upkeep yourself and the way that you would like to upkeep yourself. But we're into it. You know, I like, there's always songs and stuff. Remember Spike Lee's movie, like Good and Bad Hair and all that stuff. It was funny to look at, but it was so true. So very true. And I think we also need to take into account that we snap at each other for the way that we look. And sometimes we can be our own enemy. So let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money, and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
And it's true. Sometimes you get a little busy and you just, your day gets out away from you. Now, we come on every day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And sometimes maybe you got a business meeting that flows over or you working a little bit harder. If you can't catch us live, you definitely can go to Spotify and download us there and watch all of the episodes. Listen to all of the episodes, not just the one you missed. Maybe you missed them when we first launched last year because it'll be too long for it to be 1 year for us. And each week we've been here every day. right?
Sure
So
do.
please make sure you go to Spotify, download us there. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating so that everybody else can find us too. So go do that after the show today. Now, Eartha says, once I stopped using chemicals in my hair, my headaches and skin problems went away. Body, mind, spirit, everything that we put on our skin, everything from lotion to makeup to hair to talcum powder to all sorts of stuff. And then we start with our babies. We slather that baby oil on because, you won't smell that baby smell. We start early. But that also leads to other conversations. And so therefore, I want you to check out this video because it's going to take us in a little bit of a different direction. But here we go.
It ain't too bad because I still feel like I'm a bad bitch like this, No, I'm being so for real. That girl is very lucky that she was not permanently scarred or disfigured from that chemical peel. Black women, I cannot stress the importance of going to a provider who understands your skin type for your chemical peel, or you run the risk of that happening to you. The risk of chemical burns and post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation are very real when it comes to chemical peels in Black women. As an aesthetic doctor, I do not advocate for those very strong peels where your skin is going to peel for women of color, because you could end up in that situation. If that did happen to you, you may be left with permanent scars as a result of that very deep peel. Honestly, ladies, it's not worth the risk. Luckily, chemical peels can be amazing for Black women if you know how to do them right. But go to a provider who understands your skin. Request a peel that is no more than medium depth. It might cost you a little bit more in the long run because you'll need more sessions. However, it's so much better to be safe than sorry than to end up in that situation.
That's frightening. And I'm going to share something that I did a few years ago, and I second guessed myself after it was done. I had a small little mole, one of those flathead moles, develop on my cheek, and I was like, where'd that come from? I constantly doing my face, making sure that it's good. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to be walking around with this flathead mole on here. So I started looking for things on Amazon that I could put on it to make it shrink or whatever. This product came from China. Okay. I wanted it gone so bad. And it said to use like a toothpick or something to just dab it on there so that it go away. No, did I follow the instructions? No. I put my finger in there. Let's put that on there. Baby, I walked around for like 6 weeks with a burn on my face from using that. Didn't even really know what was in it. All I wanted to know was it going to go away? I still have a very small scar from that. And it also taught me a very valuable lesson to girl. Don't listen, because you thought it was cheap on Amazon doesn't mean you need to put it on your face. Now I'm going to ask my girlies here, my queens here, have you done something like that in your life that you have regretted? I'm going to start with you, Marlo.
But was that there was some acne stuff that they were advertising? Y'all know what it is. I'm not going to say the name. And I bought that, the whole little kit and caboodle, one night, stressing out about my skin. And I had so many little patches of burn. And it was supposed to be for acne. So many little patches of burns. And what I learned later is the salicylic acid in that product, they had it in every single product. So I was overdosing my skin on something that I really didn't need a whole lot of to clear the problem that I thought I had. So read the labels, again, very important, but absolutely, I walked around with all kind of little patchy swatchiness. And I have a lot of moles, and it burned a couple of my moles off of there. So yeah, be careful with those facial products, y'all.
They always sound so good, right? When you look at, oh, that'll be good, but we have to understand that doesn't mean for everybody. Like, I'm allergic to certain chemicals, and my hands broke out right now because of a ring that wasn't real pure that I had put on, and now I'm struggling to get my skin back in place. So it's like I'm very careful about what I put on there, and I did go to a dermatologist this time instead of what I did with that mole. Tiara, do you have a nightmare story?
So instead of me eating good foods and clear foods and things that would be good for me, when I had acne, I was like, man, I just got this acne. I need to get rid of it. And so I went to the dermatologist and they recommended Accutane. And as you know, Accutane is almost like chemo. Like that's the vibe of it. Like you can get cancer from it. It's just the strongest thing. Right now it's banned. They banned Accutane. But at the time I was like, I'll do it. So I did like I want to say like one, they gave me one dose of it, and y'all, it just made me sick. It made me so sick. And so after that, I came off the Accutane, obviously, because I experienced all of those side effects. And I never went back to that. But ever since, I've just been like, I don't know, eating fruits and vegetables and not eating like, lots of sugar. It cleared me right up. I don't have any makeup on today, and I still feel like I look presentable.
Baby, just
Skin
add
tone is good.
water. Like, I am not a water drinker. I absolutely hate drinking water, but I was determined to get myself back on track this year. So I'm now up to at least getting that eight glasses of water in. And I can already tell in my skin loves it. It's like, oh, thank you. Let me just
Yeah.
soak this all up. And it's just a simple thing. And you mentioned something else that is important, and we are also still dealing with issues. I just saw we have a huge recall of food right now because of an E. coli breakout. So it's not just beauty products that we're putting on, it is also what we're putting in our bodies. And there are certain things like, I got to be careful not to eat too. Like my son, he can't do shrimp, but he loves it. But for a while there, he tried to fight it and say he'd get over it. So we are doing this when our body is telling us something different. Moya, do you have a scary story about, any health products that you've done?
Well, it's the same thing that the ladies mentioned in terms of the acne products. Like I remember using an acne product because of a pimple, but it felt like it gave me acne. So that was something different. The other thing that I always think about is like the homeschool remedies and how those are now like, for example, Vaseline, as you mentioned at the top of the show. I thought that was the go-to product. Like I put that on faithfully every night. And then I hear Deepak is like, no, it's made out of petroleum, petroleum is what you put in your gas tank. Why would you ever put that on your skin? Like, okay.
Oh my God, it's petroleum jelly. I do. I feel
Petroleum
like you
jelly.
told me to put Vaseline on my face. I do it, and it makes me shine though.
Right?
Deepak said no.
Oh.
See, but it's true. It's very true. I mean, we're hearing about all these things. And did y'all know there is one, I can't think what is it. Maybe it'll come to me later, that we were using in the 50s, and they were touting it it was actually a cleaner, something like Ajax, and they were marketing it to women to do douches and things of that nature. And it was either Ajax or Pine Sol or something like that. And women were doing it. I mean, you think that the experts would be telling us what's right, all right? But this brings a big question up. So, Marlo, do you think that the big brands care about Black women's health or just about making that money?
The people want that money. The people do not use at your own risk, okay? While on my hair care adventure, I learned that McDonald's French fries and most conditioners have a common ingredient. And that's really all I needed to know to break up with a lot of the products that I was using and the McDonald's French fries.
Yeah.
So I think they do not care. And it really is up to us to decide what we need, what we don't need, what you can and can't do without. Do you have to have a full face of makeup every single day, right? Can you take your wig off and let your hair breathe, let your scalp breathe, allow your follicles and the blood flow and the sebum oil, all the things that make a healthy scalp? Are you allowing for that stuff to happen the way that it's supposed to happen naturally? And you have to face yourself in the mirror. And if you can face yourself in the mirror as is, then it's going to be easier for you to face the world. But I mean, causing yourself all of these, toxic health issues, if you don't have to, is really not a wise decision.
Exactly. And that also goes down to what you put your hands in your dishwashing liquid. Like that is one of the things that started this. Like we have to be on guard with everything, but I want to check out some stats because some of these stats are quite shocking. So let's check out a couple of things about all of this. Cancer risks. Studies show that Black women who frequently use hair relaxers have a 30% higher risk of uterine cancer. That's high, y'all. Over 78% of hair relaxers contain harmful chemicals like sodium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide, which can cause scalp burns, hair loss, and long term health damage. Out of 4,011 personal care products marketed to Black women, only 21% are classified as low hazard. And that makes me worry, y'all. What are the classification rules for that? Like, who
Exactly.
put that in there? But the thing that came back to me was the burns. I remember I have very, very sensitive skin, and I remember when Mom would put that relaxer in my hair, I would just break out all along my hairline, and that just made me shudder when I read that. Those stats are very shocking. We're gonna let those stats soak in for a little bit. We're gonna take a little break. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Dr. Sonia Javette, Brand Your Brilliance Coach and Monetization Strategist. I am partnering with the Fly Nubian Money Club to help you turn your natural gifts into big business. I help my clients build 6- and 7-figure businesses by branding their brilliance. You know, that thing that comes easy to you, the thing that you can do with your eyes closed. That thing, that's your brilliance. And now it's your turn. Join me on February 22nd at 10 o'clock a.m. and I'll walk you through strategies that can change your life and business forever. Don't miss this opportunity to brand your brilliance. I'll see you in class.
At this point, I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, did you see her? Okay, I just had to take a few minutes for pause, and she always comes with it. She is beautiful, and she knows how to help you get to your brilliance. Listen, Fly Nubian Money Club is the place to be. It is. And every time I say that with firm authority because we have so much going on in the world that is taking away from you that you need to fill your cup. And I mean, fill your cup with things that is going to help improve your financial household and improve the way that you're learning, improve your skills. Because when I say that we are in danger, we are in danger. So we don't have to stay there. But Fly Nubian Money Club will help you get there. Dr. Lene is excellent at what she does. Every last one of us who have taught during this have brought you our best. So why not take the time to fill your cup of knowledge and join today at flynubianmoneyclub.com. And it's a 30-day free trial, y'all. 30-day free trial. So make sure that you sign up now and get in on all of this education that you need. Now, listen, we did talk about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I want to know with all this craziness that's going on in our government, and I know this is not political, but now it's become political because this administration is pulling back on any kind of product allowance. They're letting things go away, the CDC, all these things that we are depending on to give us at least the half truths, because we all see that we ain't getting the full truth. How is this going to affect us? I'm concerned about that. So, Tiara, how can we push, especially during all of this wildness that's going on in the government right now? How can we push for more transparency in product labeling?
Yeah, I don't think like you said, regulation is a huge issue in this industry. And so I think we have to just really start to pay more attention to the things that we're using. For instance, people make fun of me because I don't like to use lotion. I know that our skin and our bodies are the biggest organ that we have. And it's like you slathering yourself, and it leaves me a little like, I ain't gonna say I be ashy, but I definitely don't like, I can get out the shower and just be like, I'm not putting that on my skin. So instead, I've just been using like literally like organic coconut oil and just rubbing it. So to me, it just feels like there's less ingredients. It feels natural. I mean, you cook with it, you eat with it. It's all the things. So I feel like if you can eat it, you can maybe put it on your body. So instead of looking outward and saying, how are they going to regulate these things? Because, like you said, we can't depend on the government for shit. So we're going to have to depend on ourselves and think about what it is that we're putting on our bodies. I guess the rule now is if you can eat it, you can put it on your skin, right? If you can use it to cook with, there's a lot of things on YouTube that'll have you putting a whole grocery list on your body, and 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 supposedly it's good for you, but it feels like that's better than using all of these chemicals, using all these products with chemicals that you can't read. As a matter of fact, a really good friend of mine who created a skincare line, and I actually want to share that with you guys later. But he said, listen, if you don't know what the ingredient is, like you can't pronounce it, don't use it on your body. That should be the gauge of like how you pick products, right? So I just wanted to just add that.
I'm a coconut girly too. And plus, that also makes you smell so good. It makes you smell yummy. But you got to learn how much to use, because when you're using natural products like that, and even coconut, y'all need to make sure that you read the label, because some of that is marketed as natural, but it is not natural. But you got to also learn how much you can use before you sliding off of your car seat. I mean, let's be honest. We have to be careful about that. Jeffrey Foss says he remembers his mother used to use Johnson and Johnson talcum powder all over. When I grew up, a lot of us girls were taught to use that, in between the nice little spots, all the way. And then you had to leave a little up here so that they could see that you put some talcum powder on. But now what we know about this, and there are major lawsuits going on that is not being talked about widely, is this actually was not good for us or good for the babies. So I'm going to ask you, Moya, how can we do a little better about looking at this, at what's going on and in our bodies? Tiara said, looking at the list, we know that, but do you have any other suggestions that we can do to look at things before we just go, oh, this will make me pretty, and put it on our skin?
I don't know if I'm the best person to answer that question. Because I'm definitely the person that says, oh, this looks pretty, let me put it on. So, I mean, I think it's one of those things. I think you just have to make a choice, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to decide, like, what type of life do I want to live? And I think a more important question is, how long of a life do I want to live? When I get into my older years, do I want to be dealing with these many health issues caused by the things that I put on my skin or in my body?
Yeah. I mean, and as I get older and you start kind of looking at your mortality, you're like, I'd like to live to be as long as possible. I'd like to be that granny on the rocking chair. And then you start really paying attention to what's in there. I do read the labels as much as I can. I'm with you. If I can't pronounce it, then normally I'm like, nah. But I got really serious about it, guys, when I turned 50. When I turned 50 is when I actually really started paying attention to what I was putting on my body. So I was thinking to myself, have I waited too long? But it was at that time that I started switching to all natural and as organic as possible. So Marlo, have you ever tried switching to all natural? We know you have your beautiful locks, but this is not just for hair. Have you tried switching to all natural or organic beauty brands? And you have that expertise with that one person you worked with.
Yeah, I've definitely scaled down just the number of products that I use. Found a foundation that I like that is minimal product, like minimal ingredients. The fewer ingredients for me, always the better. If you can't, to piggyback on what Tiara said about if you can't read the ingredient, typically if it's a chemical name, if it's something, a street name that everybody knows, citric acid or something like that, they'll put it in parentheses, right? So if there's no parenthetical telling you that this is actually what this is the known name for this, you should avoid it. But yeah, I think prioritizing what is important to you. For some people, the products matter, right? How people face the world matters to them. And if they are willing to trade off potential side effects or long-term health issues for that, God bless you, because it's in our clothes, right? I know people who eat really well, but they love fast fashion. Well, we know fast fashion has every
There's a
kind of
point.
chemical. You might burst into flames with your cute little dress on just while you're walking down the street. So I think it is user choice, right? Everybody's not going to do the same thing, but what we know is that these corporations are not necessarily going to do right by us. Try to find brands that tell you the brand story. How is this made? What is in this? If they don't have a lot of information about how it's made, they're not proud of how it's made because they're not spending money to make sure it's made with your safety and well-being in mind. So, you got to weigh the facts as you will, and what matters to you matters. And I don't judge nobody for wanting to be cute and pretty, because I too myself want to be cute and pretty, but I balance that out with the fact that, I don't want to live a life with cancer because I chose things that were carcinogens, right? We know we have free radicals inside of us, and cancer can be caused by anything. But when you know something is toxic and you keep engaging with it and bringing it into your body and onto your body, the ramifications are what they are. So that's not for me, but for everybody else, do what you please, but look for water first. Don't buy stuff with water way down in the ingredient list, please.
Do y'all remember that movie, My Big Fat Greek Life, where the grandfather already sprayed Windex on everything? For everything. I think a lot of times in our communities, we do the same thing. Because listen, even coming up, we weren't rich. I didn't really have insurance, things like that. Unless something was broken or you was dying, you wasn't going to the doctor. There was home remedies. Okay, they used cow udder cream on my skin when it broke out. Okay, because that's what we had and that's what worked. So even going back to us being kids, you got to kind of use what you use, but then when we get older, we kind of can learn to do a little better, right? So I think at some point we all have to really turn around and look at what we're doing and not just depend on what we did as we were kids as still being good now. Listen, someone in our comments earlier said that we need to be using a lot of Black owned beauty products and brands, but I also want to bring up this fact that a lot of our brands have been bought out by white companies, and they are still showing Black faces as the owners. However, they do not. And once they take that over, they are open to changing that whole scenario. So, Tiara, do you think that Black owned beauty brands are offering safer products, or do you think that they basically face the same thing?
I think that they are. It like I said, since we started this Black directory, I've been seeing a lot. I've been just researching a lot of Black products, and the intention is to literally make your life better, safer. I think the Black women and Black men are a little bit more mindful because they are also living the same experience. I feel like because you can just rely, they can relate, right? So you can't buy from people who can't relate to you. So we're buying these Asian based or these other products, and we really can't relate. They can't relate to us, they can't relate to our skin, they don't know how it works, they don't know what makes us break out. So I think going Black is probably the best option for us. I just wanted to say, so I'm gonna put up somebody I went to school with. Actually, he was a pharmacy major, and we went to high school together, we went to college together, and he's a chemist, right? He's a pharmacist, he's a chemist, and he created this Black owned brand. So I'm gonna share that. But like a lot of his skincare products, why they hand make them. They literally make everything. Him and the kids, the wife, they all be in there making the products in his warehouse that they have. So I just think when you can find a company that does things like that, where it's being shipped to you from people who are making it actually making it themselves, it changes the game a little bit.
And see, that's what we need, right? that's a perfect lead in for letting you guys know that we also do our very best to help our community. And we have a Black business directory that we are telling you that if you have a good Black business, hey, maybe you do have that skincare line, maybe you do have that hair product, maybe you have the perfume, maybe you have something that we need, and you can tell us how you made it and where it's sourced from, and you could tell us everything about it. Someone's saying someone should have a list. Well, guess what? Fly Nubian Money is already on it. And if you want to be listed in that directory, and also if you want the directory, you have to just use our magic email. I done told you that sprinkle email we got them at info@realvirtual.net. Now, if you want that directory or you want to put your business in it, just email us at info@reelvirtual.net. Now, that's simple as that. We're going to do our very best to get you the right kind of information in your hands and to also help grow your business. Because listen, y'all, when I say we got to start doing this, making sure we're protecting our community, because ain't nobody else going to do it for you, baby. Not at all. You need to start with those you can trust. You done been here long enough to know that you can trust us here, right? So go ahead and get your business in, or if you need it, go ahead and email us as well. Now, listen, I really do love that AB06 put in a couple of things that, we are talking about, not just hair care products and skin products, but listen to this. Soap. Yeah, I already told you I got to be careful with detergents and soaps. Detergents that you wash your clothes in. Perfume. You spraying it on your body. You want to smell good, right? But, at what cost? Makeup. There's certain makeups I can't use because they'll break me out. Toothpaste. Deodorant. Me and my sensitive skin can only use like Dove Natural. All of that stuff has preservatives in it. And we have to be very careful because, as Tiara says, you got to make sure that you are looking at your whole body. It's not just one or two things. So at this point, though, I feel like, hey, we're picking our poison. So fragrance and preservatives, despite progress in reducing parabens, the use of undisclosed fragrance ingredients in products for Black women has increased since 2016. So guys, labeling. Tiara.
Tiara. And it's not just women. It's not just women, men. I mean, I know we've been saying, Lala, you were like, men, you have a woman you love, but you were buying shaving cream, you were buying lotion, you were buying cologne because you too want to smell good for us and not be funky. You were using deodorant. You were doing all the things that we're doing, right? They are marketing to you too. They just happen to be marketing to us because we are consumers. Women will go, like Moya said earlier, like, ooh, this has glitter on it. Let's see what it is, right? And buy it because they know that men are less likely to be like, oh, glitter. Yeah, this is cool. I'm going to buy this. Like, that's not how that happens, right? So, just be mindful of the things that you also are buying, Black men. I'm sorry, labeling. They lying. They're not putting things on. It's crazy to me that we don't have to, the FDA, like, that you can report a certain amount of things. Like if you don't have a certain level of things in certain ingredients, they don't have to report it as that thing. Or if you have like, I don't know, like a sprinkle of this, it can make it vegan or non-vegan. Like it's crazy how much they manipulate us into thinking that we are healthy or using healthy products when we are absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up with the men, because our men are now seeing that our men are being very careful about what they do. They want to look nice too. So more men's lines are coming out as well. For Christmas, I bought my husband a natural, because he had never had it before, one of those shaving cream kits. And it was all natural. I knew where it came from. I bought it from a local source. And when I first gave it to him, he was like, you think I really need this? It's like, baby, you shave every day. And he was like, okay, I'll give this a try. And he's been using it ever since. But I knew everything that was in that. And when I say he got baby skin, he got baby skin now. So it's not just us. It's not just us women. They are not only marketing to us as women, and then now you men, babies immediately. Well, Johnson's and Johnson's is going to put the baby. Do you smell like a baby? You know, like they're as soon as you from the womb to the tomb, you are definitely the target. So, Moya, do you think, because I just said this, do you think, because we got big spending dollars, do you think Black women are being targeted because we spend more on beauty products?
For sure. For sure. It looks like we spend between 6.6 and $9 billion. And so for sure. I think one of the things that we have to kind of keep in mind, and I think somebody said, why don't you buy Black, is because in order to get in front of the masses, you need marketing dollars. And many times they have to partner with different corporations. Or once you get to that level, when you did it on your own, then you're like, okay, I'm ready to sell. Like Urban Skin RX, that has been something that she focused on for melanin women. And now she just sold it. And so as Marlo said, once you now have a wider distribution, your product line can now change. But here we fell in love with you based upon what you told us you were. And now just off top, you just might shift. So I think, I'm not saying she's shifting, but I'm saying it might happen with some brand similar to that. So yeah, I think it's a lot. It definitely.
I agree with that. But like we said earlier, and someone in our comments also said, please distinguish between Black owned and Black brands. Because there is a difference. Because, you know, one of the top people in the world's richest women got most of her fortune from owning former Black owned companies. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's still Black. But the face may be it, but
it's
not behind there. So we have to be very, very careful. Ladies, this is a very interesting topic because we do talk about health and wellness. We all want to live a happy and healthy life. The older I get, the older I mature, because I'll be double nickels this week. I don't feel double nickels. I don't feel double nickels at all. But I have noticed a lot of my friends who have now come up with things like cancer, skin cancer, breast cancer, uterine cancer. And these are things that I didn't really hear a lot going on in my world growing up, but it makes me think, it makes me pause. What have we done to ourselves to cause this? Because we're surrounded by it every day, and we have to make smarter choices. So this was a really great conversation. I can't tell our audience just how much we love you and all the beautiful comments that you put in there. We read each and every one of them. We come back to the show in case we missed any to look at those and respond as well. But we love your expertise and your experiences, and we appreciate you being here. It's time to wind it down today, but I think we started off pretty hot this week with our topics. I'm going to start with you, Moya. What are your final thoughts, and where can we find you?
You know, beauty is one of those things that it's something that women really feel beholden to, some women. And in whatever spectrum you feel beholden to, it is something that is always at the top of our mind. Now, one of the things that's important is that we have to remember that beauty comes from the inside. And as long as we keep that at the forefront, we'll be able to navigate this world of beauty and what we want to put on our face, on our hair, in our body with the food that we eat. So it is tax season. If you ever have any questions about taxes and making sure, if you want a second opinion, definitely let me know. You can reach out to me on Instagram at moya.business.
And Moya doesn't only just do taxes, y'all. And I know she is the best of the best, and you are in tax season. She's going to take care of you. But she also takes care of you when it comes to scholarships. She has great resources for your children and scholarships. Y'all need to lean in. It's time to lean in and get lean. And anytime that you can get help in educating our babies, you want to do that. Yes, I know they're 18, 19. They think they're grown. I thought I was grown at that age too. But now you need to help them by starting them out out by not necessarily getting all these student loans that are out there and tapping into the scholarship network. So please make sure that you reach out to Moya and talk to her about her expertise in taxes and scholarships. Tiara, what is your final thought and where can we find you?
So I know we've had all these conversations about buying products, but we have to understand that we are being marketed to between 4,000 and 10,000 times a day. That's how often we are seeing marketing messaging on television, outside. We're hearing, whether it's subtle or apparent, you're seeing other people, you're getting referrals from friends, you're constantly being marketed to in one way or another. So it's very hard. For one, it's hard not to fall into the traps of being lured by somebody who has studied marketing for 20, 30, 40 years and it knows how to pull on your heartstrings, right? So that's hard. And then also, if now cancer and disease is in the air, we can't live in a bubble, right? We can't live in a bubble. It's real. If it's on our clothes, or if it's in my hat, if it's in my earrings, if it's in my hair, what do we do? Strip down and not go outside? We have to live our lives. So I think I love what you said earlier, Lala, is just to like make sure that you're being the things that you can control, right? Over the weekend, a really good friend of mine, her and I were talking, and her cancer has come back, right? She is 42 years old. And so now we have to go through this fight with her. And, it's breast cancer. She's young. She got her whole life ahead of her. Now it's time for us to support her. But I was just thinking, like, wow, this thing is really like, is it accidental? Right? Is cancer something that just you can't control? Is it something that you can't prevent? Or is it like, can we take care of ourselves on the onset to not get this thing? And I don't know the answer to that, but I think what it just made me more mindful today. Like, okay, we gonna stick with this no salt, no sugar thing. Because I just don't want it, right? I don't want that. I don't want a life of like hardship later on because of decisions I'm making today. So I just wanted to say that. Third, last, well, not the last thing, but I'm gonna share. Like I said, I had a really good friend I went to college with who was a pharmacist, a chemist. Him and his family, black-owned family, black-owned business in DC. Making these things in their personal warehouse. I would, good brother. He ain't sold his company off to no white people. Like they are just a family who is building. And I'm gonna share. His company is called Ohene. That's OHENE Beauty, and it's ohenbeauty.com. And like the soaps, the black soap is the bomb. There's an oil that's on there that's like a moisturizer that's all natural. Again, this is a pharmacist, it's a chemist, all natural, all the things, right? I love their products. And so I just wanted to share that with you. There's soaps, there's all kinds of things that will clear up your skin and all the things. So I just wanted to say that. Lastly, Fly Nubian Money Club. We got Dr. Lene coming in on Saturday. This Saturday, it is going down. You go brand your brilliance is our topic. So that natural gift that you have, she wants to teach you how she teaches her clients how to take those gifts and make a 6 or 7 figure income and make it big business. So come through. Make sure you go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. If you could put that banner up for me, or I could put the banner up for me. Just go ahead and sign up, y'all. I'm committed to bringing people in that will teach you how to not only survive, but to thrive in this market. People are scared, and you don't have to be scared. We can lean on each other. I think this is a time when we lean on each other and we make sure that we have each other's back, and we can get you through. We can get you through the next 4 years. Come to Fly Nubian Money Club.
And I can't even tell you just how important that is. If you don't take anything else away from what we want you to do, we definitely want you to go to Fly Nubian Money Club so that you can get your financial house in order and your mind fed. Did you hear what I said? Feed your mind. All right, listen, we had one more comment. I want to bring this one up because someone gave us a solution. Sherry says with the Yuka app, YUKA, you can scan all kinds of products and it will let you know how harmful a product is. So I did not want to go into my final thought until I brought that up. And that's a great resource. I had actually heard about that and forgotten about it. So please go and check that out. That may help you start in the right place. Listen, here's what I know. I know when I love me, and sometimes it's hard for us to love our own selves. Um, I want to take care of me, and that means my body, mind, and my spirit. And when I am watching what I am taking into my body, such as foods, I notice a huge difference on how my body reacts. My skin clears up, so I don't feel like I need so much foundation, or my lips look a little shinier and healthy and more plump because I've drank more water. But when you start with watching what you do in and outside of your body, your spirits and your body will be grateful back to you for taking good care of it. Be cautious of what you do, but also don't live your life in fear. And guess what? Evaluate what all you're doing, maybe, because sometimes you may not need all that stuff. I know too many women that have too many things in their cabinet. And do you really need all that stuff? Do you really need 10 products before you go to bed? So just reevaluate what you're doing in your life and then start with yourself. Just start with yourself so that you can be the healthiest that you can be for as long as we're blessed to be here on this earth. You can find me at www.laurakey.net. I have a lot of free resources there for you. I also have a quiz if you are thinking about moving abroad, because more people are thinking about it. Then you need to kind of evaluate where you are on that. I have a quiz there that will help you evaluate if you are ready to move out of the country and get your wheels turning. And then that will lead you to my newsletter that will talk to you about what places are to go that are considered safe and economical for you to live on. So please make sure that you visit my website and take advantage of those things. And also, I have a free resource for you at Fly Nubian Club Money. Right? I'm a Fly Nubian Money Club. So you want to go there and download your free gift from me there. It's a 14-page gift and it's about your budget. Woo, you can't do nothing until you look at that money so you know where you can start with. So listen, oh my God, did I have a good time? I was here one day last week and I missed my queens. I missed them so much. It
We
feels
missed
so
you
good.
too.
We
I
definitely
love it
miss
when
you.
I'm here. I look forward to this day. So today's conversation proves that it isn't just about beauty. It's about our health and our money and our power. So for too long, Black women have been targeted as hazardous beauty products while corporations actually profit off of us without prioritizing our safety. But now that we know better, we have to do better, and we need to demand change, support brands that prioritize our health, and educate ourselves and our community about safer alternatives. So, what's the next step? Are we going to keep spending money on brands that don't care about us? Or are we going to hold them accountable? And what does that really look like? Let's continue this conversation in the comments. I told you we always come back and see what you say. So I want to say a huge thank you to our panel. We lost Marlo. She had another appointment. So I want to say thank you to Marlo. And I don't know if y'all know, but she is on a health journey now. And you can see her shrinking every time we come on live. Literally every day, she's getting smaller. So you want to make sure that you follow her as well. Thank you to Moya and thank you to Tierra. So be sure to like and comment and share this episode. And as always, master your mindset, maximize your money, and we'll see you next time on Fly Nubian Money. But before you hit that stop button, it is Black History Month. Stick around to hear what we have to share with you today. See you tomorrow, 1 p.m.
Hold on. Wait, before we go. Before you hit that Black History button, I would love for the chemist or the doctor that was on today to reach out to me. Please reach out to me at info@therealnetwork.net. I really would love I really wanted to talk to you. So what's my email address? info@realvirtual.net. Reach out to me, please. Okay. That's all I had.
Okay, now we go to Black History.
Imagine fighting for justice, not with speeches or marches, but with delicious fried chicken and homemade pies. That's exactly what Georgia Gilmore did during the Montgomery bus boycott. When Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat and the Black community stopped riding buses in protest, people needed money for gas and carpooling. That's where Georgia stepped in. She started the Club from Nowhere, a secret group of women who cooked and sold food to raise money for the boycott. Georgia's Kitchen became a hub for change, feeding civil rights leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. while keeping the movement going strong. Her food was more than just a meal. It was fuel for freedom. Pies from Nowhere: How Georgia Gilmore Sustained the Montgomery Bus Boycott by Dee Romito is a powerful story that shows how one woman's passion for cooking became a force for justice. Georgia Gilmore didn't just cook. She built a movement, proving that change happens when ordinary people step up in extraordinary ways. Her legacy challenges us all to ask, what role will we play in the fight for justice?
Till victory.